Okay,
Getting to work.
okay. I think I didn't start it up, so. Oh, we have someone online. Sure. Yeah, actually, I'm not gonna show the captions. I'm gonna leave this off. See, they're just in the way on the screen because it's a small enough screen. Um, yeah, everything's set. So it's 6 o'clock.
So thank you for the county road 8 one.
We can do that one first if you like.
Sure, then I can go home.
There you go.
Yep. Just
I've been going since 3:30 this month.
do you want to give a intro on it?
I don't want to give any intro at all.
Oh,
I want you to talk about it. You know,
Well, I can share what I know about it. Just let me see this. I'm doing notes at the same time, so just a second. So as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong. Um, it's going to move to a fourth location, which is on a different parcel, correct?
correct.
So that means a different application will come in.
Okay.
Um, if you want to share any information about it, we can oh, that's really bad. Show the map. So the fourth location will be in the trees.
Correct.
So it's
The cell tower, yes.
Okay.
This is the Verizon cell tower that's been kicking around for like a
Yes.
year.
okay.
They had, I think this was like the first location.
And then it was in a wet spot that Tim said that
The first location was up by the tree in the middle of the field up at the north end of the property.
Oh, was
There's
it?
there's a tree, right? You can see it, a little dot in the middle, right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, you're right.
That's
I
where it
forgot about
originally
that.
was.
and then I went to like a wet
When we purchased the property or started the purchase of the property, it was in the cattails, just to the west of the pond. There, right at the end of those
It's already
cattails there. That's where it was supposed to go.
gotcha.
And then the lovely planning board in the town of Canandaigua told them that that was not an acceptable location and that it had to be moved to site 3.
Which is down.
Which was right there where your arrow is. But with it being in site 3, you not only lost where the access road would go, which is the narrow part that comes out to the road there, just to the south of the pond, and between the barn and the pond there, so you lose that. And it also caused us to lose about 100 to 120 feet on either side of the cell tower pad because of the location that they said was where it needed to go. So
How
I
big
wouldn't
is
know
this?
about, you know anything about farming, but 100 feet, you can't turn a sprayer around in there. You're gonna struggle to turn any sizable equipment around in there. So basically you're losing 100 feet on either side of, so basically we would have lost another 2 acres roughly, I think is what I figured it out to be, with it being sited there. That would have just been unmaintainable, I would be the best way to say it, because it just wouldn't be functional to farm around it as to where it got sited the third time. So about halfway through purchasing the property, I approached Verizon and asked them to move it to site number 4, which is going to be in so yeah, so there you can see.
That was site.
So you not only lose the site where the tower is going to sit, but you lose the ground around
Basically,
basically from the corner of the property to the south border, to the edge of the cell tower. It just doesn't make sense to farm it.
So you're saying now the patch off of the side of woods is just gonna cut a trail into the woods and take out.
So, can you go back to the Encore map? Maybe?
Actually, I had the map on this.
I think it's open right up there on time of this video. There we go. There we go. So, just to the south of the house there, there's a driveway just south of their driveway. And so that's where the access road would go, would come in that existing driveway.
You're talking this.
No, to the south of the house.
Guess I'm not seeing it.
So right here.
Oh.
There would be so right there's a driveway into this field. So their access road would come up along the south side of this, or right along the edge of this field, and then come into the woods to
That's right behind my old house.
where we would site it, which would be, we asked them to put it as close to the corner of this woods as possible.
Oh, that's nice.
Because it's just basically it's scrub brush and dead ash trees is all it is, so it's not really losing any value, timber value, or any value really of anything in the woods, so that's where we asked them to site it. And as far as I know, that's what their plan is at the moment. At least the lease that I have sitting on my kitchen counter, that's what it says, so.
So I'm on the Environmental Conservation Board. And if it's in the corner of the woods, that would definitely be something we'd be looking for rather than like smack dab in the middle.
Yes.
Right,
So-
so we asked them to put it as close to the corner as possible, so it doesn't interfere with any. And there's no timber of any value in there. Like I said, it's mostly dead ash trees, a couple hickory trees, but
There's still habitat and stuff, so.
yeah, but it's just, like I said, it's just, it's scrub brush. It's wild Irish rose. It'll tear you to pieces when you walk through it because all the ash trees have died. So it's allowed the stuff that you don't want to grow up in there. So
How big
What-
is this?
Yeah, what's the footprint of what?
it's 80 by 125 is what the
That's-
size of the pad is. And then whatever
There's the
the right of
probably
way,
these sizes on it, but
the right of way, I believe, is like 30 feet. Is what the right of way to get to it is, which would be basically a gravel driveway,
It's,
which from my understanding, we will be able to utilize. So they wanted to put a gate by the road. I told them, no, can't do that because we use that driveway. So they can't put a gate by the road. They put a gate up farther towards the woods where it would be more.
so is this the woods behind your old house?
I believe
Yes, it's the woods behind.
if there's the that purple arrow, that's where they wanna put it,
The woods.
you mean the railroad bed?
That's where
No.
that's the old place where they
this
wanna put
this
it.
is the
That
old.
was the original site.
The new place that said this or they're wanting to put it is in the woods in the corner, right where Kim's arrow is.
They wanna put it actually in the woods,
Right at the
Clear
corner.
had it.
but they want
Yeah,
clear. a
right on the
piece.
corner of it. So it's not gonna be in any of the field, it'll just be in the woods.
And you will see this again because they'll have to put in a new application, because it's on a different parcel. Cause the old application
right.
is
That is, that.
for that other
plus
one.
Other parts of that, yeah.
So it's the same proposal that came to us before, it's just in a different location.
Cause you have our original, when we originally voted on this. It was in the northwest corner of the property.
Yeah.
Right by that
Yeah,
tree.
close to
He said
that
it was there and then it went down low and now it's.
which is actually one of my favorite trees, by the way. But it is a nice tree. But that particular part of the property, that's what originally came up. Back when it was Sensenig's property. And. You know, we approved that, and then after that,
Did it wait here?
then it was proposed
Here.
for other places.
I think with it being in the woods, and especially on the corner, it's not taking up a ton of the woods, ton of habitat. I would say it's fine.
Well, so. Seth, please enlighten me more of your feelings on the tower, or is the tower something that's exciting to you, or would you rather not have it at all?
Nothing about this excites me. The only reason that we're going through with it is because Marlon Sensening signed a lease with Verizon that I can't seem to get out of.
Really? Cause I had wondered how the heck could it transfer over?
Yeah,
Cause he's not. the
We have
property
wood rights and mineral rights and all that kind of stuff that stay with the
That's
property.
completely different.
Well, just example.
I don't understand how
Yeah.
this lease is so binding.
Gotcha.
It's very confusing to me.
Now,
I don't know how it is so ironclad that it cannot be removed, because that is, I thought maybe we could get out of it, but we can't. Because originally, so I'll go back farther on this, originally Verizon came to us before they came to Sensening's. And we didn't want anything to do with it. Because we had asked them to put it up in the old railroad bed, which would have been, we asked them to put it. We asked them to put it up in here.
Okay.
Because they wouldn't have had to put an access road in or anything. They could have run, there's a large electric line that runs there that they could have probably pulled power off of or run their lines, their communication cables. I would assume if RG&E would let them.
And that's why.
RG&E's kind of goofy about that sort of stuff.
Is that the
But
reason?
that would have been a much better location because they could have used the old railroad bed
Yeah.
as an access road. It's a road.
Yeah.
We haul tractor trailers down it.
Yeah.
So we haul all our farm
That
equipment
is
down it.
really. Why didn't they want to go through it?
Because they didn't want to go through the environmental studies of putting it in the old railroad bed.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Because it hurts their pocket,
They have more money.
even though it makes sense,
Yes, and it's a much,
like the phase 1 and 2 environmental.
it's a higher location. So I would have assumed that it would have been option for them, but they wanted nothing to do with it, and they actually wanted to put it in the woods where it's going to go now. So.
Why would you want to put a cell tower?
Because the people can't see it.
Yeah.
The neighbors were quite vocal.
If you,
Oh, I
if
don't
you
blame
travel around, they try to hide cell phone towers as
Yeah.
best they can, they hide them and they make them look like trees
Yeah.
in a lot of places.
I've never seen that. The one on
So-
21 came to us a couple years ago or last year, right on Dual. So
You see it a lot
You can
in
see
this
it.
thing, yeah.
You can see it on 21, but the access road to it is it's smack dab in the middle of the woods on Dual.
They try to make it look like a tree as much as they can. This one is not, this one's just gonna be a monopole with arrays on it, basically. We also offered them our grain leg, they didn't seem interested in that because they couldn't sell more spots on the tower. So Verizon can sell to T-Mobile, to
Mhm.
whoever else wants a cell phone.
Ping off of it.
Yeah, basically. I also told them they should have just put it on the new water tower. It's ugly enough as it is, so I
Yeah.
don't know why you can't put another thing to make it look more ugly on top of it.
Yeah.
Whoever approved that was. Yeah. That's a whole different story.
So do you want to add like?
Well, but before I forget, when this, of course, when. The situation with this now is obviously different than when it came across our desk in the first place. You know, in the first place, it was with Sensenix, it was proposed for a different part of the property. I wasn't exactly thrilled with the idea of a tower being there back when it was Sensenix property, but the original proposal was it was gonna take up a small parcel of ground in the northwest corner. It was gonna be a really relatively short driveway in, and it was gonna be in the little less productive part of the field. And sounded like Sensenix were for it. Now, us, the ag committee, that, you know, voting on that, yes, that does represent a loss of farmland. But the farmer themselves at the time, Sensenix, were going along with the project. We approved it. I suppose we could have tried to fight it if we really wanted to, but I don't think we would have had a lot of grounds really to fight it on, because they were citing it in an area that was the like the lower production part of the field. And they themselves weren't interested in the tower being there, was my understanding, so.
Now it's in the woods, so it's kind of a hard.
And you don't really have to say that much tonight because you will see this
See it
again.
again.
Okay.
And you'll see it in the new location. Cause Verizon is gonna have to go back and do all the engineering, the new plans and all of that stuff, which we don't have currently, so.
So did he make money on it? Is he making royalties continuously on it, and that's why he signed?
Marlon?
Does he get to keep royalties on?
Don't think so, because I believe the lease was signed in like February, January, and we put a purchase offer on it in March.
I think
I
that's,
wanna say, so
it
I
did,
don't believe that Marlon got any money out of it. I could be
I
wrong.
don't know when he signed to allow it to happen when it wasn't gonna benefit anything, or.
That I don't,
Like
I don't
financially.
understand that. I
Yeah,
don't understand a lot of what went on there.
yeah,
Why he all of a sudden just up and moved back to Pennsylvania, I don't understand that either. So it was very strange.
yeah,
He said something, he came to get straw to mulch his strawberries in January or December, whenever it was. And we had been working on a project with soil and water, drainage project on the field just to the east there. And I was talking to Marlon about it because it was gonna affect the drainage off of his property. And he said, well, why don't you just buy it from me and then you can do whatever you need to do. And I didn't think anything of it. I thought he was just being,
mhm.
I didn't think he was being serious. And then the next thing I know, he was selling the property, so.
Interesting. So why don't we take the comments that we discussed tonight and then we'll lead off
Lead
of
on
it when it comes back to
I
us.
can't actually vote on it tonight.
Yeah.
It won't, I mean,
It's good information, so
you
thank
can
you.
make a vote if you want, but it's changing.
I think we should see what the new plan is
Yeah, I
and then
think
go
so.
from there. I agree.
And of course,
I think their intention is to go in front of the planning board again as soon as possible, which was like, I don't believe it was the one that's coming up. I think there's one on next week.
Yeah, we haven't seen the application yet.
Okay, so I
And
believe,
there's
I believe,
usually
I
like,
believe they, 'cause I went to the planning board
Yeah,
last week or whenever it was. And they were, I think they were planning on getting it back as soon as maybe even December timeframe.
yeah, my guess is more like early in the new year.
Keep pushing them off.
I don't think there is any pushing them off. I
Yeah.
think they're very frustrated with the whole process. So, and
But it is
my
not-
understanding is that the planning board was quite frustrated with Verizon as well. So, I don't think there is any pushing them off.
I mean, what's the point of a cell tower there? It's not like it's Cheshire that needed it. What?
There's a, if you're in that area of town, there's a large dead area. Right at the intersection of County Road 8 and 332.
Yeah.
You would drop calls, whatever, if you were on the phone right there. Where our farm is there on 332, there is no cell phone service there. I can be down there working, and I was 120 feet up in the air working on the brain leg today, and I didn't have any cell phone service. So,
So it is a dead
and
spot.
same on Risser Road down in the swamps on Risser Road, there's no cell phone service there. And what my understanding is that it will help areas east of Canandaigua as well, like out towards the fairgrounds. If you're at the fairgrounds, there's no cell phone service whatsoever.
Is correct.
Yeah.
So I'm under the assumption that is where
Large span.
it's gonna help.
Okay.
Which is why they wanted it there. This is what they told me, because when we asked them about using the grain leg or the water tower or something, it was out of the area, which didn't make sense because you can
Right there.
see it from right there, so it didn't make any sense to me, but
Okay.
I'm not an engineer, I don't get paid enough money to be an engineer or be a whoever that they hire to do this stuff.
Out of any spot on the property that is most favorable to you, besides the tracks, is that
Corner of that woods.
would be the most favorable?
Yes, it makes the most sense for us.
Saves the land for
Saves,
you and
saves the land for us. It actually, by putting the driveway in, it gives us,
helps you a little bit.
it helps us because we can access the
Equipment through the back.
south corner of the Sensitive property
Okay,
a little easier, because right now the only way in and out is to go all the way up next to Lumber's house, which is
yeah,
basically the house at the end of Yerkes Road and County Road 8 right there. That's the only access in and out of that parcel at the moment.
okay,
Unless we use the railroad bed more than anything, but
alright,
so that is where we're at the moment. Yeah, and it doesn't affect any drainage or anything like that by putting it in the corner of the woods there. The water all falls away, because that's the high point. So the water all falls away from there. So that was the other thing with putting it behind the third location there, is you can see the wet areas on that map. And
yeah,
that was one of our intentions this winter, was to run drainage tile up in there and get that drained, so. And part of that would come out into the field to the south there. So that allows us to do what we need to do without. If the cell tower was there, it wouldn't have allowed us to do what we need to do, so.
So I would suggest when that other application does come in, that, yeah, if there's positives or negatives about the different locations, so like your site 4 there. That in the corner of the woods, definitely identify all of that stuff and as a committee. Because site 3 came about because the planning board was listening to all of the neighbors with their comments and their complaints, and that's how it got pushed there.
okay.
So definitely
Bring
make a
these things
strong
back up.
case for that site is what I'm saying
When it comes.
when it comes back around.
So,
Okay. We'll vote on it next time. Yep.
so if the tower's gotta go somewhere, that's where you'd
That's-
rather see it.
That's where I would rather see it.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, thank you.
That's the best location for us. So that's just. Cause there's no other way around, but like I said,
They're gonna pick a
I
spot.
think our hands are tied, and that's.
That really.
If I hadn't gone to the planning board the other night, I'm pretty sure they would have approved site number 3, but because I was there.
I think so.
Yeah, because I was there, Verizon got nervous, so.
Oh.
Because I would have stood up and said, no.
Yeah.
And if the planning board can't listen to the landowner, there's something very wrong.
Yeah, that really perplexes me how it didn't just end when you became the owner of the property.
Yeah.
So I don't know
The
how,
agreement.
the
I,
agreement,
the lease carried over because the lease was recorded in the county. So the lease carried with the property. And I don't understand the whole workings of it, but that's, like I said, I'm not a lawyer or an attorney or. I'm just a lowly farmer, so I don't understand that.
I'm curious if like there's no money involved for having a structure on your property for royalties. Why?
We get paid
Okay,
an annual
okay.
lease, so we get paid, it's. I think the number that they told me was it's like 15,000 a year
Okay.
that we get paid as for a lease, essentially, for 25 years.
Also, it's not a permanent structure. Like if
The structure stays, but they only paid for so long.
Yeah, they paid it for 25 years, and I
And
think I think the way it's written is that after 5 years, it's renegotiated something or. And it's a 2% increase, I think, each year, so it starts out at 15.6, and then it's a 2% increase. Or it's a percent increase every.
Yeah.
Every year or every 5 years or something
Like
like
the
that,
windmills.
so.
we don't know how many acres the actual pad's taken up yet.
It's not
Yeah.
100.
Well-
0.23, it's a quarter.
Quarter of an acre.
Yeah.
That'd be the most profitable quarter of an acre on the whole farm.
And then
That'd
you're-
be the thing.
Have a 30-foot gravel right away for. To get electricity and communication cables. From the road to the. To the.
Yeah,
airport
Oh, yeah, that's
site,
right,
to
that's
the
right,
cell
you
tower.
gotta, yeah, that's right, you got access stuff.
Having seen 1, 2, and 3. The plans for their little pad have not really changed.
Yeah, if
They-
I had
they
known
pretty
that you
much
didn't
stay
have
the same.
the site for 3 or 4 for in the woods, I would have brought it with me, what we have. They're supposed to be out next week, I believe, to do engineering and that sort of stuff. And they'll probably have a more detailed survey and everything by the time they come to the next planning board, which,
Well, at least we'll have all the information for next time, so it'll be
yes,
say all the details. But yeah,
so hopefully. Yeah, I guess that it's probably the better location. Out of what they have proposed, so, and it gets it out of that field, which.
I'll make a motion that we continue this when it comes back.
Thanks for coming in,
Thank
Deb.
Yeah. I'm go home, go to bed now.
usually,
I gotta go babysit my grandchild.
I'll have it on one note.
Okay.
I will.
Yeah,
Oh, you're parked,
Yeah, I
okay,
parked over.
okay, perfect. That's even easier.
she needs her keys back anyway.
Thank you. Alrighty. Yeah, I would expect you would probably see this January, February
Okay.
sort of time frame. That would be my guess. Because what happens is an application goes in, the zoning officers, they'll review it, write up their determination, and if it's complete, then it gets scheduled for like the planning board of like the next month
Okay,
sort of thing, so nothing would happen in that month, so. There's usually a 1-2 sort of month time frame, so.
alright, we can,
You do have another
yeah,
guess.
we can go to the next project with where our guest is here.
Ryan, if you would like to share some information about the project with the ag committee.
So I believe this project was in front of you maybe a couple months ago for a sketch plan application. At that point, it was a 42 lot subdivision. Since then, we've removed 4 lots. It's a proposed 38 lot cluster subdivision with an extension of Ashton Place off of 96. There you go. Perfect. And last night I was actually at the county planning board for to review the preliminary overall and final phase one application. The county planning board ruled that or determined that there was no countywide or intermunicipal impacts associated with this project. One of the benefits of this development being proposed as a cluster subdivision rather than under the underlying conventional zoning of the SCR one zoning district, which requires 1 acre lots. This is showing 20,000 acre lots or 20,000 square foot lots. So roughly just under half an acre. So we're reducing the development footprint while also proposing permanent conservation easements where 40% of the underlying parcel will be in the permanent conservation easements after it's developed.
If I remember correctly, and we asked for more of like spaces at our last meeting. Like
You asked for what?
more like openness. Was this the one that butts up to?
It was, we asked for the space that was going to be left to make sure it wasn't. I think this was the start of our conversation of stop, like bulldozing the areas that you
Right.
leave and start leaving them just how they are, just work around them instead of clearing them and then putting them in a conservation easement and they just grow up to allergies, like
Right.
ragweed and everything else, and I think that's what we were talking about for that one,
okay.
yeah. That if it's gonna be left in the, like, I see all these spots that are left in the developments, but all they did was drop topsoil and bulldoze them and then leave it, and then that's what's left.
You're talking
That's
about
what we were
clearing the entire
Yeah.
parcel.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, that was our conversation on this last time, but I could see the spots that you removed,
Yeah.
cause they were on like the really steep, incline.
Yes, there's around 3 lots in the southwestern corner. You can see that gap now around the loop road.
Yeah,
And then between lots 4 and 5, the 4th and 5th lot on the right when you enter in the subdivision
yeah,
on the north side, that's where you're transitioning, following the existing grade up. There's just a good transition in elevation across that pie-shaped lot, so that was removed as well. The intent is this would be a phase development, so we're showing 3 phases. The first phase being the first 10 units as you enter in from the existing portion of Ashton Place. The yellow dashed lines represent the individual phases. So the central portion will be the next 11 or so lots. That would be phase 2, and then phase 3 would be the remainder of the project on the western portion and completion of the looped road section. The intent is to do the earthwork as close to the phase as possible so that we can still balance it, but then minimize the disturbance for each phase rather than clear cutting the whole parcel. We understand the sensitivity to that. And believe it or not, the developers, would prefer to do that method too, to minimize their cost for earthwork as well. And erosion control measures. So the intent, like I said, is for the earthwork operations to follow the phase lines as close as possible while still being able to maintain an earthwork balance.
I think the things that I would say about it is I like that it's already in the developmental space. It's already right off of Westlake, so it's already gonna be the spot that gets developed eventually. That it's the smaller parcels. Instead of like you said, the half acre, but it's a zone 1 acre for division.
Yep.
Or per lot, yeah, so they're fitting more houses on it, so I think we talked about.
We talked about decreasing the amount of houses, which is what is proposing that it's 38 and it was like 40 something when it really came to us, and then also having more of the green space
Yeah,
is what we wanted,
which is
theoretically
not
got
happening.
everything that we asked for at the first meeting.
Instead of taking, yeah, it's more homes on smaller lots to fit the need instead of putting in an already developed area that's going to continue. Yeah,
So maybe have the perspective, where would Middle Cheshire be on
That
this
is-
map?
that way.
On the,
That
To the left.
yeah,
Yeah.
The left.
so it would go from Westlake to Middle Cheshire.
It's like Bedford's right here, and then there's a house that goes back right here, Tarantello's, and then on the other side of that is uh the elderly home
Right.
that goes that runs from Westlake to
There's the
Ferris Hills and
And
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there another proposal that kind of connects these two? Didn't we have another one that was a different project that was coming up that? Or I probably am thinking something else, or like,
I'm not sure.
No, I'm not aware of any project that's associated for a future connection to this.
You have two applications right now for the same project. There's a preliminary overall, and then there's this phase one. So you do have two for the same project that you're looking at for tonight. Maybe that.
I think I'm just mixing, because there were a similar project that allowed it to, or I think that we allowed it. The idea was that if another one comes, there would be more open space, because it would eventually maybe connect to this one. That might be just,
There already is the other development on the other side off of Middle Cheshire. That's done, like you can see the houses right here in the corner. They just added that huge, probably like, how long ago was that, like 5-6 years ago? Maybe, so it's already developed off of Middle Cheshire and now they're just extending it off of, or off of Westlake. So there's already
Well-
development.
Yeah, and one of the goals in the intents of the design of this layout too was because you can see how it's a longer, narrower rectangular site. To try and balance out the open space areas and provide larger areas of wooded space on all sides of the project. So this layout, we have the meandering road where it doesn't just blow out the north end of the project site or the south end or the entire east portion of the site. We're providing permanent conservation easement areas and open space on all four sides of the development. You can see there's an existing wooded buffer that's being maintained just to the right or east of the stormwater management pond, just to the west of the homes or the rear yards of the homes on Westlake Road. There's a large wooded area in the central or southern portion of the property, as well as along the northern portion of the property, which abuts along the homes Bedford Drive. And then the remainder of the parcel, like we discussed earlier, we did remove a couple of lots on the southwestern corner of the loop. And then that also opened up an even larger area of the wooded space on the western end of the project that we're maintaining too. So we're trying to balance out a lot of aspects, but while also being able to provide conservation easement areas and wooded space connections on all four sides of this development.
I don't think this is the one that had to do with connecting anywhere, it was just its own
okay,
entity.
okay.
But there, my point was there already are subdivisions on all sides of it. So it's in a spot that's already going to be developed.
Well, I guess I'm fine to make a motion saying that with how it's come back, showing that there is the conservation easements all around the entire subdivision, as well as having the pond, and making the lot smaller, that with the changes, I make a motion that it doesn't affect, or that
That it's not an impact.
yeah,
to-
it's not impact,
It's not an impact to active farmland.
that, and also that, like, it's not taking away more of the woods, it's for having conservation easements around it, it's for putting in a water, it's
They have to have that retention
it's
for the
on
development, but.
theoretically is everything that we talked about at the last meeting that are what our recommendations from our last discussion in regards to this, so. I'm trying to put my brain to get into more of a better, larger scope. Yeah,
So it's not an impact to active farmland and it's conserving the NRI features on the parcel.
perfect.
Okay.
Where's Fernando when I need them? He knows, he helps me with language. Yeah,
How the statement should read,
like he'll jump on me with my.
organize your thoughts.
Yes.
He can help organize thoughts.
Are those conservation areas on there, like I was saying earlier, just going to be straight left alone? Like the wooded areas, or is it
Correct.
going to be?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So really the only area that's gonna be kind of bulldozed and flattened out is for the retention pond and probably a path around it for the people, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, so the conservation easement areas will be owned and maintained, not, well, owned at least by an HOA. There's no intent like to put like designated trails or stuff, but I'm assuming that the residents of the community would have the option to use that space, you know, for walking through the woods, but the intent is to leave it in its natural wooded condition.
Perfect.
Do I have a second? Oh, a second. And all in favor? All opposed? Okay.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate your input.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Yeah, cause I moved two off of this corner
Mhm.
and then one off of the other one. When they showed the maps, it was like a sheer drop on like a quarter of the
Yeah.
property.
So let's see, we have a single family dwelling on an undeveloped parcel in the AR2 district, so I'll go look it up on the core. Whoops.
That was our only guest, right? We have no
No
more
one
of that.
guests.
Oh, correct. Unless somebody's come in while we were talking. Let's see, nope.
Kim, with everybody being moved upstairs and over at the town hall, is where we used to meet, is that changed or?
We
Oh, is that okay?
won't be able to meet there and there will be a conference room upstairs, but it's not ready yet,
Okay,
so.
so this will still be our location then while everything's getting reconstructed?
For a while yet, but
I'm curious, why don't they let us use the room that the court is done in?
because courts.
Of course, the same day.
Of course they do.
Yeah, court, yeah, that's why all those people are down.
Lots of people in the
I
parking
was
lot.
wondering, yep, okay, that makes sense.
We had somebody come in, cause planning board was actually
Yeah.
last night. And we had somebody come in for the court, it's like, no, sorry.
I did not realize it was on Thursdays.
Cause just cause Seth made a comment about like, oh, you guys trying to like make it hard for people to get in here. So with the gate,
Oh, yeah.
so, but
So.
Yeah, that's right, because, yeah, I guess just in case.
But it's I was just curious as to if for our next meeting if we could switch over, but if they're still
I will have to see when they're planning to have
Okay.
that one done.
just cause I think it would be easier for if we do have guests.
Yeah.
That would just
I
make it easy to
agree.
accommodate them, just cause it's if you don't know then it's hard.
Right.
And
I 100% agree, and I'm kind of waiting on that too for the ECP. It's cause we're in the same boat, we use that same room that you guys use.
This year's all been construction.
So they're planning to have the house reasonably in the north end of this parcel. Let me go back to or maybe I have the wrong direction, well, this end of it. I guess I should say it that way, cause that's not north. They're looking at putting the house there. We go back to. There's the plan.
On the Encore map, could you
Yep.
zoom out a little bit where,
Sure,
thank you.
there,
Is this by the airport?
Yeah, which section is it? You're. Okay, it's down next to Purdy Road,
oh, get up, there we go.
Oh, it's way down.
so it's on the
okay.
opposite end, yeah.
Yeah, here's Yerkes.
Yeah, we talked about not too long ago on Purdy Road, cause the manufactured home they're gonna extend, they wanted to extend over, so it's right next to that.
This is next to,
Just like right. Right there, that cluster,
okay,
that we looked at, the property west,
okay.
or. East of that, and the farmland, we said no to for their extension, right where the mouse is.
Okay.
Yeah, you looked at, I think
It
there
was-
was.
There was one there for
The
they wanted to
Canandaigua
venue.
Estates, yeah,
Mhm,
you
yeah.
looked at that one, you looked at stuff at Stella's.
Yeah, for a
Just
wedding
on the
venue.
corner,
Okay, now I know. Fair.
and so, yeah, they're going to put the house at this end. Down at this other end, there's a swamp. Wet area. I believe this person came to this ECP meeting, if I'm remembering correctly. And they were intending on, clearing any of this down here, they were gonna have their house up at this end and. Kind of leave the rest of it wild, if I'm remembering correctly.
So is the current, so the yellow is what they're proposing,
The yellow's the parcel.
Yeah.
okay, that is the parcel?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the other, like the left shape, it's not that whole entire, so they're not looking to,
I'm sorry.
so what line?
We all need like little laser pointers.
So what, yeah, so this here is separate from here.
Different parcels.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not like that whoever's putting in this house, they're wanting to only like subdivide this area from here, it's just it's two different
They're
places.
just building a house, so there's no subdivision here,
Alright,
and the house will be. I can look at the map, I don't know how far back, so I can read that. It will be 377 feet, I think, into that lot. And then they're gonna put their house and a barn and septic system.
so it's just gonna be open then from between behind it to where the woods was? What's currently happening to that area right now? I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't
Is there any way you can zoom?
look like
Yeah.
much,
I
Could, yeah,
zoom in more?
yeah, zoom in, please. Yeah, I am curious what's going on with the property right now.
So there's already a house on it?
I can, just a second. I can do the detail.
It was stated it's a vacant parcel.
It looks like there's already a house on that.
It might be it might be the barn. There's a barn on the plans.
But that
Oh.
looks like a field there in the. This way.
So the barn is
Right.
already existing, the house is being added, so. Okay, well then it's closer to the road than I thought. If it's up where that barn is.
Got the detail.
Okay, so yeah, so the barn's
So
already
there's
there,
Barn, yeah.
Yeah.
so they're just adding a house behind it, okay.
Gotcha. So already a barn, they want to add a house.
These detail reports are actually really great if you're wanna get more details, and they include a picture. Usually of the parcel, so if there's a structure on it, it's usually that's what they show in the picture. So it is useful, they will tell you the soils and. So like the swampland, they'll tell you how many acres of that, so You got the silver maple ash swamp. There's like 2 acres of that. There's another area that has swamp. There's almost 8 acres of that. So this is really useful. You can see where it tells you the soil types in here too.
It looks, judging by off the picture, it just looks like it's a lot of wetland.
To the west of the property,
And that's what
or to the back of the property.
Well,
not-
even,
Not being actively.
yeah, I,
No,
just judging by how it looks, I don't think that, I think it's just a
and there's
a
already,
vacant, and they're not touching it, it's just.
there's already a structure right next to it too.
So if we had to vote on it, I figure we're gonna say,
Just look at how
Hey.
close that barn is to the front.
Yeah, so
Well,
if they're
it's-
looking to put it right behind it, and then there's the wetland.
it does look like there's a couple,
I mean,
there's a couple areas right there that could be farmed.
so,
I feel like the surrounding parcels are, but this one isn't.
so this is where the barn is, and they're probably wanting to put the house like what, right here, is according to the plans.
I believe it's just in front of,
Oh,
or
okay.
actually kind of almost next to it.
Frame barn.
Want the other?
Yeah. So on this side?
The other side.
This side?
Yeah, kind
That's
of
where the-
like right
right here.
here.
So it's not even. This
Side of the
isn't,
Field,
this looks like that if somebody does something for right here, that they just go in, zip around and zip out. I'm just guessing. So-
If they had to.
Yeah.
So if a producer had to,
This looks like a pond,
or a swamp, yeah.
and this doesn't look like really anything in regards to. I think judging by how this looks, it's.
I would say any of the surrounding parcels, I would say no to,
Yeah.
but this one doesn't look like.
But where they're
it's
proposing
It wouldn't,
that
it's not a loss of active farmland.
Yeah,
if they build
it's-
a house.
it's at an appropriate spot.
Yes.
Do you just want to say it's not a loss of active?
It's not a loss of active agricultural farmland.
Edit. Yep, that is a good statement. I don't know if we should include. Well,
Cause they're not looking to put
There.
it in any of the areas that look like that it is being farmed, they're looking to put it up closer to the road. So
Yeah, I don't think anything has to be crazy on this one.
I think just saying that it's not a loss to agricultural land is fine,
good enough.
short and sweet.
Sounds good.
I wonder what they have in the barn there.
What they're doing there right now.
I'll make,
Maybe it's part of ag.
so I'll make a motion just saying how it is not a loss to agricultural. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
I,
Yeah.
or if you could just zoom in again, please, Kim. Just cause I wanted to. My eyes on it.
It looks like somebody is like brush hogged or
Yeah, it
something.
doesn't, they're doing something, but it's not, that's not an area that where the house is going, so.
Yeah, keep scrolling there.
Yeah, the house
there's the barn,
Yeah.
yeah.
could be up in here.
It looks like somebody mows the area off, which I'm sure that area could be farmed again, but it's not an active field.
Watch there be horses.
I was about to say they're probably gonna put fencing up right there and put livestock.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
They could, and
I could eventually turn it different, but. Alright, let's. Head to the.
Let's see what we got left. I know you don't have a lot, cause you did these two already, so we've got. Oh, 8, 6, 7. They need variances because they want to put septic in their barn. And there's code against having accessory buildings have habitable space, which putting water and septic and that sort of stuff in leads to that.
I think I have an idea where this is.
So they wanna put septic in their barn. So it's coming across our, yes,
Just the,
Just because of
the leach field,
Like-
yeah.
yeah.
It's probably in an ag district.
I think
That's why you get a lot of the things that you do, because it will be in ag districts.
An AR.
yes. This is Bristol Hills to me.
So this is the proposed barn. We didn't, I don't believe the ECB reviewed this one, so I don't have a lot of details on this, but I can read the zoning law. The zoning law determination usually has a lot of info on what people wanna do. Habitable space and accessory structure, they wanna have a year-round pool and bathroom in the
I-
barn.
I know. That okay.
So the barn wouldn't be agricultural, it would be for a pool.
I know. Okay.
3,200 square feet. proposed.
20,000.
Or, oh, I was reading about below, lot from 20,000 square feet.
Is 3,200, yes.
Proposed pool barn is. Yes, says pool barn, 32,000 square feet.
So then, see, so this is exactly why you got it. It falls within an ag district, so some of these things, I know it isn't so much about agriculture, but because it falls in the ag district, you get to see them.
This is to me. This is where I used to board Liza and Andy.
Could we just see the Encore map?
Encore, yeah.
To see what. Where the barn falls on them. Why do they want an indoor pool? I wonder what they would use that for.
Probably for
Fancy-
swimming.
Fancy stuff right there, year round swimming. Retractable roof. For the summertime.
Ah, there it is. So that's the parcel.
Oh, is this the horse farm?
Yep.
Oh, that just sold.
Yep.
New owners, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So
It's not active.
yeah, it's
Farm.
it's the horse. It's the horse farm.
Okay, so you wanna know what they're probably doing is a therapy center for horses. If they're gonna put an indoor pool in, it's probably for the horses to do therapeutics. with
I can
and
look
stuff.
to see what their application says.
That would be interesting,
Yeah.
actually, to see that.
Let's see,
That would make sense.
Yeah,
let me see what they
and
have
in
to
that case, they're
say.
probably doing other fancier things to the
Fancy
horses.
stuff, yeah.
So what?
So it makes sense if they're in there all winter long doing that stuff, they have a
Septic.
bathroom. That would make sense.
Wow, they really didn't give a lot of details there.
I
I honestly don't know.
I don't think it counts, it's already a horse farm, they're not actively farming it anywhere in the
Yeah.
whatever.
Could we just see on the map? It'd be nice to just out of curiosity, see where all this needs to go.
Oh, where it needs to go, sure. This is the proposed barn. Oh. Okay, so pond is there. It's down south of the pond, so. Where's the pond on this? Like,
Coming off of that driveway right there.
There's,
was that?
so yeah, this is the pond, so I wonder if they're putting it right in this area,
They're
cause
doing
this,
it like right down in front of the pond, so it'd be
So
like right.
the
They're
pond is
putting it
here.
down This way.
Oh, okay.
sideways. Here, I can-
Right next to their other.
Oh,
barn.
okay. That's where the house is. I know exactly where they're putting it. I used to I would walk all the time. So right by where the round pens are in
Yeah.
this area.
Yeah, they're not gonna wanna walk horses very far from both of those two barns into the other structure, so it's kind of clustered with the other structures. Yeah. That one's really the only thing they're taking is mowed lawn and probably some trees down right there.
So not a loss of active farmland. But
But improvement to the property to keep it ag related.
yeah, the equine industry is a big, it actually is an important part of. It, so, you know, a lot of people. Might not realize that in the equine industry, you know, recreation horses and race horses is actually quite an important part of agriculture here. Because it's technically agriculture, because you know, you have livestock and. Then we feed them hay and other ag related materials that be used in having them, so.
But it doesn't look like they have any farmable land, so they're probably buying from local and so it's helping. Well. They don't have enough land right there to be feeding all the stalls that they have for horses eat around.
They don't,
Sure,
there's
yeah.
not, there's
Any
only
farm.
like 3 horses up there. My farrier still, he goes up there.
Oh.
There's not a lot of horses.
Wonder if they wanna like expand their program for. I don't know. Nice.
Sorry, I don't have other details on this one.
Well, whatever they're doing, it doesn't represent a loss of active farmland. I mean, like, even if they were putting something in a pasture there. I mean, we could say, you know, represents acres that could be farmed, but. It's not. Basically, whatever they're doing, it's an improvement to the equine. Related property. And whatever they're building, it's not gonna take away active farmland. I think I can simplify that statement.
I usually try and,
I was gonna say she simplifies it while we're saying it.
I usually try and clean them up, simplify it when I do the minutes, so. If I ever put something down and you guys say that's not what we mean, then feel free to bounce back, so. I try and capture the intent. Okay. So not a loss of active farmland and an upgrade to equine related property.
We have one more. Or two.
So. Let's see, what you have left. Is we did those two. Cause one is the overall plan and then the other is the phase 1 of the plan, so you guys covered that alright. So what is left is they are asking for comments. An update that they're working on to form-based code. Form-based code is that uptown area along the 332 corridor. as you, before you get into the city, so there's that whole area before that. That's the uptown area, and they're changing, they wanna change the code, the laws that apply to that. That area, the code was designed to change the look, make it more welcoming and friendly, not like a car lot along that strip. It was supposed to have sidewalks, more mixed use. There's been pushback from some of the developers, and so this is why they're trying to change some of that code and make it friendlier for development in that area.
Right up 332 strip. Okay.
So the document's big, there is a document in here. And you will get to see this again. So once they put all of their changes into the code, you'll get an opportunity to review this again. What's that?
She's going to the bathroom. She was asking where the bathroom was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. So this document's big, as you can see.
Oh, God.
A lot of the things they're doing are, like I said, trying to make it easier for developers. So some of it's a little watering down of trying to change the look of this area. But if you have any general comments that you would like to make about that area, you reviewed the Uptown Landing one. That was the one that was kind of like in that area that's like behind where Honda is. And they have like that whole great big development plan, but they're waiting on electricity right now. You've probably heard about those problems, so that's one of the projects that's on hold because of those projects or problems which have nothing to do with this.
Well, I suppose when it comes to Uptown, whatever is constructed in the area that was set aside for future development, I just sincerely hope that that particular development land will be used as efficiently as possible, and things will be constructed as, you know. Oh, how should I word it?
You're looking for a denser development area?
See, that's where I could trip myself up with terminology.
Cause you're
My-
wanting to provide,
My hope is that the Uptown area, the area that they're setting aside to be developed in the future, I just hope it gets done as best as we possibly can do it, for having both the vibrant aspect and also land use efficiency aspect. So balancing that, I suppose, is the challenge.
Because a lot of the surrounding areas are ag, so if we're gonna make that strip heavy use development, let's make it in the specified zone and not for future expansion. Let's do what we can with the space that has been allotted. Yeah.
Basically, I hope that area is,
What we need and not more. Right?
that's
Yeah.
that's a good statement. Suppose I guess I need a second to organize my thoughts better.
Well, it's not like we have to.
I- I hope it gets done right, but the definition of right is kind of fluid at the moment.
so what are you intending here by right? Are you looking for more housing and more stuff going in that space? That's kind of what you're saying, maybe?
Density
Ted,
wise.
But
Okay,
I'm gonna pause on that till I gather my thoughts better.
so a denser development is what You're
Yes.
thinking,
Housing wise, if we're in such a need of housing in the area, they focus less on trying to put like a ton of shops and things like that. We already have our main strip for a TJ Maxx and all that kind of stuff. If they're focusing on housing, make sure it's not giant complexes like they are right next to the lake. Make it proper size units to fit our growth and future growth.
so you're saying more workforce housing, or what people would say is affordable housing.
Yeah, like just median income level
Yeah.
housing that, yeah, not necessarily like low income, but just a
That's why some people are calling it workforce housing.
workforce housing.
So basically the people that live and work in Canandaigua and.
Have a spot to go to, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
perfect.
Of course, the uptown. Focus, there's a lot of information in the comprehensive plan update about this that. We discuss, over the years, it's come up in, community discussion, uptown. Is that's been several years that's been in the comprehensive plan, because the last comprehensive plan update. Several years ago. Several years now.
I know they were trying to put like little shops, kind of like they did in the lakefront, how it's shops on the bottom and then apartments on top. But I don't see it being a very big, like we already have our
Like I am curious.
shopping space, why not make that just like straight housing? Since that's what we're just in so desperate need of around here, apartments and housing combinations in there. Is make use of the space that they're given.
Of course. I'll give Kim a second to catch her breath.
No, I'm listening, go ahead.
Of course, higher density housing that can be a double-edged sword, so to speak. Because you're using the land more efficiently. Because you have, theoretically speaking, less pressure on the outside land for housing, because you have more people concentrated here. But now that particular area, you could have a lot of traffic in the surrounding area, and those surrounding areas of uptown are traveled by many local farmers, including me. My fear is, my concern is traffic increase in the future. It's just gonna get worse, but.
Focusing on up or south.
Yeah, I do. Like when we talked about the car dealership proposal, that we wanted to see them have a parking garage instead of just a giant parking lot.
Yes.
I think that's a beautiful way of building up instead of out.
Yeah.
If we're gonna build things there at Uptown, I wanted things to be utilized most efficiently possible, because there's only so much land. But then again, you gotta balance the aspects that are also a double-edged sword.
One of the ideas of the form-based code area was to make it a walkable community. So there were sidewalks, there's supposed to be like landscaping and different things to have that appeal for people at the ground level. So there's supposed to be like bike lanes and bike racks and public spaces, and some of that all gets encompassed in here too. So it was really meant to have kind of more of a urban sort of, approach, kind of look to it. So it would be more dense. So like Uptown Landing, they have apartment buildings, as well as there's a place where they had single family residences, and they're pretty tightly packed in there. So you're kind of looking for that sort of
hitting both sides of it, the houses and the apartments. Cause I know like my friend, when she just moved out her place in Fairport, it was the same thing, like you go. You drive in, they have like the little community center for the place, but it's. All the house, like house, first and second floor, but then you go a little bit more in, and then there's this building, which is. 30 apartments, and then you go this way, and there's more single family houses, and then there's some apartments, so it's like hitting a mix of. Um. People buying the houses, but also temporary growth for people to be able to rent coming out of something and then eventually move up into purchasing homes, so you're getting like both of those. But I'm still really stuck on the not putting a ton of shops on the bottom and leaving
Okay.
space for that, when we already have all the strips for commercial and business. So let's keep it, if the main part is just housing, well, if you're gonna build, people are gonna move here. But if there's a certain number they're trying to hit, let's fit the housing there and keep the commercial and the shops. Where they are.
I mean, we have so many vacant shops down
Oh, so you have
down
big
at
lots.
this end. Yeah, like Denny's is vacant, Rite Aid is vacant.
Yes,
There's a bunch of stops in Parkway that's
Yes.
vacant. Like we have the spaces for those retails. Why don't we utilize what we have instead of
Not
building
building
more?
more.
And
yes,
especially if they're going to be doing phase 2 at the project at Lakeshore, which is what they're talking about in the next couple of
Yeah.
years.
the restaurants and the new culinary center and stuff.
Right.
Exactly, let's. Make people utilize what we already have built that's been sitting vacant, it needs to be updated. It needs some help and love. And utilize at other spaces what we actually need, which is
And also like
housing.
where Ponderosa used to be, they have that vacant lot right there that can be built into something. We have spaces for the retail. We don't need to be bringing in more retail. Also, retail up on the north end of town,
Doesn't.
it's not that great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're gonna bring these new retail businesses in, but you have a median that divides 332 that's gonna cause it hard for those businesses to stay afloat.
For
And a
sure.
lot of them, like that are across the Tractor Supply, how many of new businesses have come and gone within the 10
Yeah.
years because they can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to build there, just because you put a retail spot there doesn't mean that people are going to be going.
I think that's all great feedback for him.
And again, if you're gonna use natural space. Please stop leaving it to ragweed and mowing a walking path.
Oh.
Like, make it actual, like, stop wasting our donated land and our forever farm. Make use of the land,
That's-
stop letting it go to weeds.
Yeah, the Forever Wild, I think's what.
Yes, for the
I-
forever wild
I-
spots,
I'm glad you brought that up.
they drive me crazy.
Cause oftentimes what happens is people don't manage them and they just grow up to invasive bushes and
Yeah,
invasive trees and.
yes, it's not helping the bees, it's not helping the birds, it's not helping the local, ecosystem, it's just weeds and messy looking.
I agree.
Yeah, that they mow it once or twice a year, they brush hog it. And so you can see where the mow path was, and then you can see all the dead, like brush hog spots.
Okay,
Alright, so I suppose,
Did you say that this was coming, like this is going to continue coming back to us?
so what they're gonna do is they're going to take any comments that they get and try and, if there's changes that they need to make or whatever, incorporate those. Because this is such a big update, that's why they're asking for some feedback first, cause the update's gonna take a long time.
And then
Because
because
of what they actually do with that.
because of all of our comments, it's going to keep changing each time it comes to us, right? Or is it
The plan is to take the comments that they get from the boards, cause all the boards are reviewing it and you're reviewing it as well. And incorporate anything in that they need to, and then the document will get updated, and then that will come back for a final review.
Okay, so we can take the comments that we have made tonight and just do a continuation of when it comes to us for our.
So what I'll do is I'll write your comments into a memo.
Okay,
And I'll send that out, so if you have any changes or updates to it, get back to me right away. So, cause with the holiday and stuff, there'll be some downtime for everybody in here. So, if, I'll try and get that done this next week. And,
Yeah, cause I wondered
or
whether,
this weekend.
yeah, I just wondered what, so we're not voting on. Any particular
Right.
thing right now, we're just discussing.
so we're just got,
You can make comments on specific changes, but it means you have to dig into this document, so that's why I was suggesting if there was general comments that you had to make to give feedback on.
It
I-
started.
I thought that might be better for yourselves.
Understandable.
alright,
Okay, I will, like I said, I'll try and write your ideas into a memo. And because that would go to the ordinance committee and get copied to a few other people as well. And like I said, you have anything you want changed, just let me know, happy to do.
I suppose, before I forget, I can't stress this point enough. I ought to bring up the environmental board. I mentioned it before.
Well, I am the chair, you know.
That's right, when any, new building is constructed, whether it's subdivision or. Industry or whatever, whenever somebody takes then and. In an area where they've disturbed the ground and built a building, done any type of site work. I really would like people to value soil health more and pay attention to the soil health more of the area, like. If you're gonna plant a tree or have a lawn. I really would like people to think about. The soil health of that area and. Was it impacted by the site work? If so, please improve it before you plant trees and lawn there. And I've lost track of. How many properties I've been by before where there was site work that happened. And there was all kinds of construction equipment in and out of there and moved soil around and. Went back and forth on the ground. Making lots of compaction and. Nobody ever goes back through and plows it back up to reseed it. They just. There's areas where there's. Hard compacted soil and they just go sprinkle. Grass seed on it and call it good. Same thing with trees. I know several. New development areas in town where I can tell. The lawn areas are compacted, they just sprinkled grass seed, call it good, and
And
I cringe.
put a couple blue spruce in and called it a day instead
Yep.
of our, yeah,
Yep.
Well, if
Or
you go through
pine
the
trees
ESPD,
that-
we tell them to plant native species.
yes. And it's always pine trees and it's always close to the road and then they salt and half of them, if not more than half of them
Yeah.
die.
Yep,
Instead of putting them in the right places and yes. And I am also very for having a discussion on when things are being put in ag districts, not just on ag zoned land, but in ag districts. We are required to put money towards parks. I think we have plenty of parks. But there needs to be a fund. That money is going towards agriculture. And keeping this money stockpiled up where every house that's built in an ag district, it's $1,500 or something that they have to put towards the parks, and then it's an ag fund. And this fund builds up and helps give back to people wanting to keep their land in ag conservation and keep it farm, so that we start our own fund to be able to do that. I think that's something really important, because there's really no money buckets for agriculture. It's only for the parks and stuff, and again, they get developed in a building and 30 swing sets and a soccer field, and it's sprayed and mowed and. So let's have a bucket for agriculture. And maybe that's giving back to the farmers like a percentage, or it's just. Thoughts on what to do with that money, but there should be money being set aside for ag,
I
being
suppose-
built on ag land.
I suppose part of the justification with that is because that's not what happened with parkland.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah,
So why don't we have an ag bucket that people are, it's not that much if you're giving $1,500 to maintain the parks and half of the parks. I don't know, there's a ton of new parks, but there's, and nothing going towards keeping the land ag.
Is that along the lines of a TDR?
I think that's getting towards that. There was some documentation written up a while back, like a number of years back. About a TDR, and I can find where that documentation is and send that along. But it didn't go anyplace.
Okay.
And I know for that, you kind of have to have a sending and a receiving area. So, if you're putting something like, I believe, into the TDR, there has to be like other land coming free or something. I don't 100% understand it myself. But one of the things I had asked, one of the zoning officers about is if, the guy that used to be the town planner here, Eric Cooper, he works for MRB now, which is the engineering firm for the town. He's really good on land use and preserving land and stuff like that. I was seeing if he could maybe come in and talk
Join
to
the meeting,
Yeah,
yeah, that would be awesome.
because that might give you a lot of ideas on
Mhm.
how you can move forward and things you can do. Maybe there's code changes, or maybe there's zoning changes or whatever,
Mhm.
to help preserve farmland going forward. And it might be a charge, so there might be a fee associated with, I'm sure there would be a fee associated with coming in, but if you're interested in that, I will.
I think that's very worth having a discussion over.
You've talked with him, I think, at one of the planning boards a little bit, so that's the person we're talking with,
To read the comp update, the comprehensive plan update meeting. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yes,
Yep.
yes, he was there.
Yep,
And what's his
I remember talking
Eric
to him
Cooper?
there.
Oh, Eric Cooper, yes,
Yeah, Eric Cooper, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, I talked to them at that comp update meeting.
And I thought, if he could come in and give you some ideas, there could be things that you could work on. Rather than just review plans, you
Yeah.
can try and make some active changes
Yeah.
to,
like that.
I know we've tried some of that with the
We've
EPP.
voiced it, but let's like
Yeah,
figure out how to actually,
Make-
take the step past the line and make it happen.
Yes,
Yeah, instead
okay,
of just saying it and hoping somebody else who's in power will make it happen.
so if you're happy, I will, definitely, see if you can come in for
Yeah,
one of the upcoming meetings.
sounds good.
And before I forget, I could condense my soil health spiel, so it's less to try and grab a hold of.
I think it's fine. We're good.
Okay.
We're fun.
If there's anything you ever wanna send me, and you want it included in the minutes, I'm happy with that.
I can word it more direct and condensed, kinda.
If you like to do that, I'm always happy to put whatever you would like in the minutes, so.
Already. And, but
Jim mentioned that a sign was $200 a piece. With that being said, I think if we decide to do a sign, that we might not go through the town with it being 200 because the place in Victor was 35 a sign.
Okay. That's fine.
So, And I don't have my updated image. I will try to get that for the next meeting.
If you wanna send it out to the meeting, or to everybody, if they have comments, just have them. Send it directly to
Okay.
you,
Sounds good.
so as long as everybody's not just doing a reply
Right.
all, you're fine, you won't break any rules.
Okay. Sounds good.
No reply all.
No reply all,
Oh,
because then you're actually holding the meeting
yes, that makes sense.
email and it's not public, so. But yeah, if people respond directly to you with their feedback, that's always fine.
Alright, I make a motion to adjourn for the night.
So move.
Alright,
Sam, your last name has changed,
yes.
so
Oh,
I think for
I'm
future
sorry.
reference, we need to, as
what
our
is
chairman.
Day. DEY.
yours? Right,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah, that'll be, so Striker will be my maiden name now.
okay, nice, congratulations.
Thank you.
Didn't you just did you tie them up
No,
or something?
no. Not that I know of.
I'm sorry.
Last.
Confusing in my mind who I was remembering, so.
Good meeting.
Thank you so much.
I'm still so. I knew nothing about this cell tower, and now I'm just very curious.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right, that's one thing I forgot to mention. Of course, our
I'm heading out.
our role here on the ag committee is to judge a referral. And comment on it, vote on it based on.